Hello, today we remember the death in 1954 of Alan Turing.
He was best known for his work in cracking the Enigma code, which was the way in which the Germans communicated with each other, German warships, during the Second World War. And by enabling the Allies to intercept these communications, many hundreds, if not thousands, of Allied lives were saved. And Alan Turing later became prominent in the development of computer sciences and sadly died at the very young age of 44. But he, earlier in his life, was very worried in the early 1940s about the possibilities that the Germans might invade this country. And he wanted to keep his money safe should that happen. And so he bought 2 gold bars worth something like £8,000 and buried them in the woods near Bletchley Park where he was working, and invented for himself a code that would enable him, when it became safe again, to find the bars that he'd buried and to recover the money. But when it came to do that, he found he couldn't crack the code that he himself had invented to tell himself where he'd buried the vase. So he lost that money. It seems to me to be a story about how our anxiety can be undermining, because his anxiety about his money meant that he never actually was able to use it. And I think sometimes our anxiety can be self-destructive, can be self-defeating, because it stops us thinking clearly about our situation. Anxiety is a thing which sort of comes up on us very suddenly sometimes, and immediately we stop thinking clearly. And it's really quite important to notice when that happens, to notice that our brains have stopped working properly because they're overwhelmed by worry and concern about the future, which stops us thinking about how to handle it in a sensible way. What we need to do, I think, having spotted that, one technique which I think is helpful is to just stop, breathe, and look intently at something for 3 or 4 minutes. Not to think about it. Any object will do. Just observe it. Take it in. In other words, engage a different part of your mind to the one that's panicking. And then coming out of that exercise, often we think much more clearly about what to do next. Anxiety can be quite destructive, as it was indeed in that instance for Alan Turing, and I think we need to observe when that kind of panic is taking us over and make sure we stop it so that we can revert to our normal, proper ways of thinking and allow ourselves to see sensible ways forward, not influenced by over-anxiety.